So, hello everybody.
Hi.
We're here with Sarah. We're doing a walk and talk.
Yeah, we're beginning this new adventure of walk and talk.
Yep.
This
And
is the first, and
yes,
maybe the first of many.
exactly. And today, Sarah, I want to talk about the subject of resentment in relationships. So, basically, if you could just explain to everybody what do you mean when you talk about resentment? Because I know it's a hot topic for you. It's
Yeah.
been in your content a lot lately. And what happens when people actually feel resentment?
Resentment, it's very simple, is suppression of anger. So basically, I can put it in a very simple way. You say yes when you want to say no. You lower your standard. You accepting things that you actually don't want to accept. And instead of saying, instead of communicating, instead of learning how to communicate it better, instead of say no, actually I don't want that, I don't like that, you basically say yes. You do it for a multiple times, because resentment is doesn't happen overnight. It's a build up. It's a build up of so many things, and then one day you explode. Like
Okay.
you explode because you break like a package of nuts. This is coming from lived experience. Mark can confirm that.
Yep.
You get angry because the coffee machine doesn't work. You get angry because someone in front of you in the car just drive too slow today. That is the sign that something is suppressed. You're suppressing something for so long that it just started to come out in the small thing. But the problem with resentment is not really just knowing that, it's how it formed in the first place. It's a pattern, it's a copy mechanism. So resentment is how we're coping instead of facing the truth and instead of actually feeling our darkest emotions,
Okay.
especially our anger.
Okay. So when the resentment comes up and you're dealing with like a relationship, like
Yeah,
with your partner,
yeah,
so you're the one that's feeling resentful about
yeah,
the other partner's actions. Like,
yeah.
what can you do? What can you do in those moments when it's coming up?
When it's coming up with your partner, we have to, first of all, knowing already this in the first place, it's not about your partner. And I know this is the big pillow to the big pill to swallow. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's not about them,
Okay.
because we are always in control of everything in our life. So nobody forced you to say yes to something. I mean, in certain dynamic that can happen, but that's another story and that's another context. I'm talking about healthy context. I'm not talking about abusive relationship and things like that. And it's up to us to recognize our pattern and work through them. So your partner is just basically triggering you inside with this, because he does something or he says something, and you, instead of say I'm not agree with this, or I don't like this, or I don't want this, you say yes. So that is a survival response that you learned young in your age, because it was more safe to say yes than say no, and you started to cope with that. And now growing up, you keep doing it, thinking that you helping the other person, but you actually helping no one. So first of all, it's not about your partner, and this blaming theory has to stop, because the more you blaming your partner about this, the more the resentment grow. And actually, your partner doesn't even know how to help you, because you are not communicating how you actually feel. You are passive aggressive, or you responding harshly, or you throw the bottle in the air, and how your partner can actually help you with that. It can't, because there is a reaction there. There is really something reactive happening there, and nobody wants to deal with that, especially when the partner didn't create it.
Yeah.
So resentment, it's really like emotion that you haven't felt. Is a boundaries that has been crossed. It's you abandoning yourself in that relationship. It's you lowering your standard, and it has to come out somehow. And when we do not have a relationship with our anger and with ourselves in that sense, it just come up in a way that it is. And sometimes it's not pretty. So in those moments when that happens, the first thing is to remember that it's not about your partner, and it's pausing and taking a break. Go in another room, go for a walk, journal, do whatever you can that works for you. I don't really have a framework for this, because everybody is different, but pause. Instead of talking with your partner, pause and say, okay, I'm resentful right now. It means that something is going on inside of me. I'm taking a break, and I will come back to you after, and I'll talk to you after.
Okay, beautiful.
That is the faster way to break it.
Yeah. Beautiful. My next question is, do you have anything spicy that you want to share about relationships, or what was like your biggest moment of growth in your relationship with me, like your romantic relationship?
Stop being in love with the potential.
Okay.
And talking about also our relationship.
Yep.
When you are in love with the potential of someone, you are not just harming yourself, you're actually harming the other person to make sure that the other person does their journey. And you're pushing them to actually be who they are maybe not ready to be.
Okay.
And I'm talking for experience because I did that. I did that in every relationship. I also did it with Mark. And I learned that it's not working. It's not working because being in love with the potential is not the same thing as being in love with all the version of that person.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that we are all in a different journey.
Yeah.
And when you are in a relationship, sometimes you have to accept that the other person might grow slower than you. So it's not a marathon. It's not about who does it, faster, who does it slower. It's about like respecting the other person's journey. And instead of you being in love with the potential and pushing the other person to be who they might not be ready to be yet, stop to be in love with the potential. Like literally, being in love with the potential has helped so far anybody. Because that's how also relationship ends.
Yeah.
Ends because we are so in love with the potential that we're pushing the person to become who they might be not ready to be. And I can use a very famous analogy here that probably you already heard about. It's perfect. It's like the cocoon, right? The butterfly. The butterfly, she's in the cocoon and she's growing, and when she's ready, the cocoon breaks and she's ready to fly. If someone is not ready to fly, but you try to push her out of the cocoon, the butterfly dies. And that's how relationship ends, most of the time. Sometimes the relationship need to end because they are not the right one, because they're toxic, or that person is not in alignment with where you're going. The value are different, you're growing apart. And then I experienced that. I ended 9 years relationship because it was not in alignment with me anymore, and I couldn't become the best version of me. So I think I want to share this with you. It's just coming up now. Instead of focusing on being in love with the potential, which doesn't help you and the other person, because the other person might be in the cocoon still, not ready to fly yet, and you're killing it, and then she can't fly anymore. Ask yourself, can I become the best version of myself with this person? If you can, just don't give a fuck about how long it's gonna take for the other person to become a butterfly. Focusing on you. Can I become the best version of myself with this person? If the answer is yes, stay in that relationship. If the answer is no, let it go. I think I can summarize it like that.
I like that. Is there any closing words you want to have before we finish this beautiful first walk and talk?
Yeah, feel your emotions. Don't be scared of them, because feeling the anger is the faster way to let go of resentment. The resentment is not going to dissolve with a spa day or booking a manicure or going out for dinner with your partner. It's not gonna solve. You're not gonna solve that.
Yeah.
You really need to face it. You really need to understand why you're still people pleasing or abandoning yourself or lowering your standard in a relationship, understanding your pattern, why you created them in the first place, and recreate a new one. And from there, when you're feeling the anger, you're opening the doorway of letting go of the resentment, and guess what? Back into your power. Where you don't people please anymore, you are not lowering your standard anymore, and you're not abandoning yourself. Because I think the biggest mistake women does in relationship, it's focusing on the relationship and the man only, and not focusing on themselves. And the man lose attraction in a second when you're doing that. Mark, you might confirm that.
Absolutely.
And is the biggest mistake that we do as women in relationship is really not focusing on us and choosing ourselves and actually having boundaries and standards is very attractive for a man. And again, a man, not a boy. Talking about men here, not boys. Boys are not going to like this. They are the one that probably hate this kind of content. They're probably gonna comment below and say, what the hell am I talking about? But I'm talking about men that grows and rise and work on themselves, the divine masculine, the safe masculine. They understand this, and they will want you to rise. They will want you to focus on you so badly that you're forcing them, guess what, to do the same. I think I don't have anything else to share today.
Okay, so ciao, ciao, ciao.
And I'll see you into the next Walk and Talk with Mark and Sarah.
Ciao, 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 ciao.